Now, remember where we started from. Remember where we started from. This is where we started from, all right? And we looked at what we were expecting, all right? So why Excel? Because it's very, very profitable to learn Excel, all right? So you can actually chart your career. You can actually start off with a lot of things. You can earn with Excel, and went ahead to look at some of the jobs that require Microsoft Excel skills, and we're able to look at secretarial work, PA, office clerks, all the way to freelancers. But I said, and I made mention that this is not exhaustive, so it doesn't end here. There are a whole lot of other jobs that require your skill. I just bring out this so that we can go through it. Then we also went ahead to look at Excel Masterclass, get paid in dollars with your Excel skills. So there are a whole lot of things you can do as far as Microsoft Excel is concerned, and you earn in dollars. All right. So a lot of people are stepping up. So why don't you be among the people that are stepping up? And I made mention of some of the skills and the platforms and all that. Is that not super awesome? So people are leveraging on Microsoft Excel and are making a living. So you can just work from home, but the job is also for you to do. All right. So that I am good in this is because I've actually sat down, I've bought courses, I've learned from mentors, and I've sat down to do the work. Now we also are here, we looked at what Excel workbook is, what Excel worksheet is, and the Excel interface. We looked at rows and columns, and we talked about cell referencing. And in talking about cell referencing, that is what brought us to this place. And we said cell referencing is the intersection of the row and the what? Column. So where the row and the column intersect, you have a cell reference. So supposing we select this particular cell A, so the cell reference for cell A is what? F5, because F5 intersects with what? The column F intersects with what? Row 5, all right, to give you what? F5. So the cell reference for cell B is what? H5, because column H intersects with what? Row 5, to give you what? H5. That is exactly what cell referencing is all about. As simple as A, B, C. Is okay? We're able to perform some arithmetic operations in Microsoft Excel, and we looked at sum. We were able to sum these two numbers together, and we were able to look at minus. We were able to subtract this number from this, and we were able to look at multiplication. Is that right? Is that not super easy to do? Now we want to go into what is called data summary. Now, in those platforms that I showed us as Microsoft Excel, okay, some of those people, their skill is just to summarize data, right? Now look at the end of this particular task, you notice that what is very easy to summarize data, right? So some clients can actually come, okay, help us to do this thing. Now, if you actually know how to do that particular thing, you can actually take up the job and get paid. How about that? So we have a table here that shows what staff name and have staff monthly score. All right. So we don't know what the score is all about, but what we know that Messi Aina scores what 76. We have Marcel scores what 72. All the way we have Dauda scores what 76. We have this guy Odogu scores what 90. I'll have Saul scored what 96. So what can we actually do with this? What can we do with this? What can we do with this data? Their staff's monthly score and so what? But we can use Excel to summarize this data to actually see, can we count the total number of people that are here, the total number of the scores that are here, all right? Can we actually count the number of people that, or number of staff that doesn't have a score, or the cells that is blank? Can we actually find the average? Okay, can we actually sum up everything? Let me just add this. Okay, can we actually sum up everything? Is okay. Can we find the maximum? All right. So can we find the maximum? Can we find the minimum? Right. So all this is under data summary, but basic data summary. By tomorrow, we are going to look at advanced data summary. With advanced data summary, there's nothing under data summary that in Excel that I cannot do. Is that okay? But this is like an introduction. So count, what does the count means? Okay. Remember in Excel, we have formulas and function to start with. All right. Going back to this particular worksheet, you notice that we have where we'll have sum. Notice that sum was represented with what? Equal to F7 plus what? H7. This is a formula in Excel. All right. This is a what? A formula in Excel. And when we went to what? Minus. Minus was represented with what? F7 minus what? H7. This is also a formula in Excel. Please follow me. I'm driving at something. When we want to multiplication was represented with what? F7 multiplied by what? H7. This is also a formula in Excel. So what now is a function in Excel? What is a function? Okay, so a function is actually inbuilt in Excel. Okay, a function will tell Excel that, okay, once a particular word is written in Excel, make sure that you perform a particular task this way. Is that all right? So in Microsoft Excel, functions are inbuilt what? Are inbuilt rules in Excel that actually help you to carry out a whole lot of tasks, right? Now, in data summary, we are going to be using all these functions to summarize this data. So count, what does count does? Count actually counts the number of cells that have numeric value or numeric data, all right? So in count, you notice that this cell will not be counted. This cell will not be counted. Why? Because it's not numeric. This cell will also not be counted. Why? Because there's no numeric data in it. Is that making sense? Is it confusing? All right. So remember what I told us also, that you don't need to what? Cram anything. Just see as we are doing it and it's going to make more sense to you. Is okay. So how do we implement the count function? You hit your equal to. Just like we said before now, that before you can do any kind of calculation in Excel, you must precede it with what? An equal sign. So once you hit your equal to, you type in the name of the function. The name of the function in this case is what? We want to count the number of cells that has what? Numeric data. So you type in what? Count. As you're typing it, a whole lot of functions comes up, right? Remember, I say functions are inbuilt within Excel. So Excel is smart to actually know that what I want to type in a particular function. And the function in this instance is what? Count. So I double click it to select. So it will tell you what value do you want to count from where to where, from what range of value to what range of value. We actually want to count from this cell C2 all the way to what? Cell C what? C17. Is that not? So what I just did is to do what? Equal to count. All right. I click my mouse on this particular cell and I hold down my mouse and I drag all the way to where I want to stop. Is that all right? So I'm just showing you how easy it can be to use these particular functions. So you notice that I want to count the cells from C2 all the way towards C17. So once you have finished entering the particular range of cells that you want to count, you now close it up with, you notice that it started with what? Open bracket. So you now close it up with a closed bracket, right? So you now hit enter. And it brings up what? 13. What does this 13 mean? It means that in this database, the only staff with numeric data is what? 13 of them. Please take note that what we are doing here is just like an illustration. In the real world, you are dealing with what? 500 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people. So if you think that it's easy to, okay, why don't I just count this thing now? It's not just 13. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 10, 13. What if you have a whole lot of data, like something like this? Okay, supposing you have something like this, that you have to start scrolling down, down, down. The day will finish and you are still counting. So, but Excel has made it so much easy for you to just use what? Functions to achieve what you want to do, all right? So someone say, I should repeat count. It is very easy. So to use the count function, remember what the count function actually does is to do what? Count the number of cells that has numeric what? Data. Is okay? Count all these cells that has numeric data. And I say this example is just for illustration. It might look so easy to just count it visually, but what if you are working with more data? All right, so this a class. What if you are working with bigger set of data, right? So it will no longer be easy for you to count using visual means. So you have to use a function. So to use count function, you start with what? Equal to. The count function, you type it within your keyboard, and as you are typing, Excel is bringing out suggestions for you. But the function we are interested in what is in what? Count. All right, you double click it to select it, and it says what? Value 1, comma, value 2. But after this opening bracket, after I click it with this opening bracket, what you just need to do is to go to that particular data set where you want to select from and select the range of what? Cells. Just drag it from the beginning, from this beginning, which is cell C2, up to where you stop, which is what? Cell C17. Is that all right? If you don't want to go this way, you have to type it manually, which will waste our time and which will defeat our aim eventually, because Excel is to make your work more efficient. Why do you want to go back to manual when we can do it automatic? Okay, so once you've done it like this, you will now close up the bracket and you now hit enter on your keyboard, and it will count the number of cells that has numeric data. Please, if it's understood, you can just say go on. Yes, let me continue to the next one, because the next ones are even more simpler. It is the same process. Please tell me to go on so that I can write on, please. So this is not a one-man squad. We are working together. We are working together. All right, so now we now go to the next function. To summarize the data, I want to count all the cells that has data in it, both numeric data, both alphanumeric data, or both only alphabets. All right, so to count that, you use the count all. That A in front of that count means all, to count all. All right, but count all will not count anything that doesn't have data in it, like blank cells. Is that making sense? All right, so to start with, you start with what? Equal sign, then you type in your function, and you notice that what? As I'm typing my function, a whole lot of suggestions come. Count, count all, count blank, count if, count ifs. So, but the one I'm interested in is what? Count all. Please note that at the end of this class, I'm going to give you your own tasks that you're going to submit in tomorrow's class, right? So remember, I said Excel is all about practice. You do, I do, and everybody is happy. Is that not awesome? So I select count all. Now, the range of cell that we want to select is from here up to this point, from C2 up to 17. You close up your bracket and you hit what? Enter. All right. So what this means is what? In this range of cells, we have 15 cells that contains what? Numeric, that contains data, whether numeric or alphanumeric. Is that not awesome? All right. It has 15 cells that contains both alphanumeric and numeric. Now, I want to show you something. Supposing we delete a particular cell here and it no longer contains data. Notice what will happen. That is, supposing for this Marcel, okay, Dari, and we delete its score. Notice what will happen to count the value of count and the value of count all. All right, so supposing I hit what? Delete. You notice that now count has now reduced to what? 12. And count all has now reduced to what? 14. Because we now have 2 empty cells. All right. So this and this. All right. And since count all does not recognize an empty cell, it will actually affect its final result. So I undo what I've just done. And what we just did is to delete this particular data under Marcel. All right. So supposing we now go ahead to delete another particular value. Supposing this Olatunde of a person, we went and delete the score. Okay. You now notice that. Okay. Now you notice that Excel updates automatically. So as you are making changes to data, the answer you are getting in your formula is also updating. Is that all right? All right. So I'm just going to undo this. I will now see how we can use the count blank. So equal to count. So you start typing your count. All right. So select the count blank. I now select your range of cells. So once you select the range of cells, you close your bracket and hit what? Enter. So what it's trying to tell us that what we have only 2 cells that does not contain any data. Is that right? We have only 2 cells that does not contain any data. So someone said that he's just joining. So my comrade, my chief, should attend to the person. Okay, should we go back or we should continue? Your guess is as good as mine. So you can have access to the recorded version of this video. Okay, but whoever have the final say is my boss. All right, so you now go ahead to find average. So average from time memorial is what? The sum of the total outcome divided by the number of what? Outcome. Right, so this is not your typical math class, but that is actually what our average does. So equal to average. So I start typing average. I notice that what I have avdev, average, average A, average if, average ifs. But the one I'm interested in was the normal average. So I just select it. I just double click on it and it selects. So what range of numbers do I want to find average for? So I just select the range. To select range, you just click the first one and drag it down to the last place, and you close up your bracket and you hit enter. So the average for this range of cells is what? 57.92. All right. So what if I want to sum up all these numbers? So now notice how I'm going to sum these numbers now. Equal to, so you type in what? Sum, and you have all this. As I'm typing sum, all these other guys comes up. So, but the sum that I'm looking for is the sum that only has SUM. We have some if, some ifs, some product, and all that. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select the range of cells that I want to sum. Some will only sum what? Numeric what? Values. So once you finish, close up your bracket and hit what? Enter. So the sum total of all this is trying to tell you that what is what? 695. So let me just copy this printer and paste it here. Okay, so when you sum up all this, it's going to give you what? 695, right? So sum is also smart to tell you that what? It doesn't recognize all these characters. It only sum the numeric data. Is that right? Okay, someone is saying, what about the absent and pending? Now we purposely put absent there and pending to tell you that what? Maybe these people doesn't have a score. All right. So because they don't have a score, that is why count all or count A was also able to recognize them as data. So suppose in a class, you now come, okay, I want to count everybody in the class. So you use the count all function, right? So whether the person is absent for 1 week or the person is present for 2 days is none of your business. You just want to count everybody. So suppose you now come, okay, I want to count only the boys, okay? Or I just want to count only the girls, right? So you can use the count function for that instance. So count all, just like the name is, it counts everything. So absence, pending, or any other cell that has any form of data, count all will recognize it. Is okay? So absent, don't go too far. It doesn't have any implication to our calculation. I can easily change this to absent. All right, it doesn't affect our calculation in any way. Remember, our final answer have not changed in any way. Okay, whether I change it, whatever. So even though if I put any letter here, it doesn't affect our final answer. I just needed us to understand that whether it is letter, whether it's a word, count all calculates that, whether it is a number, okay, count, understand that. So what if you want to find our maximum value? You can use the Excel function max, okay? So maximum value. So you select the range of cell, and tell the maximum value is what? 96. Also for the minimum value, equal to min. So minimum value, all right? So you select it and tell that the minimum value is what? 30. So we've been able to summarize this data, and we've seen that this is what we have here. Is that okay? Remember, you can be anything you want to be in Microsoft Excel. You opening up your mind, right? That I know it's actually does not mean that I have I'm special or something, because I actually work towards that, right? And now I'm training people, even organizations and all that. So this is very easy to achieve. Let me know if you have any question. If you have any question, let us know before we end this class, all right? So I can attend to any question now, all right? So tomorrow we are going to be going more advanced than this, but let me know if you have any question before we end this class. Question time. This is 9 on the dot, all right? This is 9 p.m. on the dot. Let me know if you have any question. Wow. Okay, if you enjoyed the class, you can give us a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the class, okay, you can just say something, all right? If there's anything that we miss, just let us know. We have just 1 minute to do that. Can you do the average again? Of course, you can try with your phone. The average, I didn't get that. All right, so I'm going to go through the average again. So more questions, I need more questions. You know, when someone asks question, that means the person is actually following. All right. It's refreshing. Wow, that's awesome. Rex, that's awesome. So on your phone, for the person that is asking about phone, on your phone, you can actually go to Play Store and download Sheets. In fact, some phones actually come with some of these apps pre-installed. So you notice that it's called Sheets, okay? Sheets, that is SHEETS. So when you open it, you can now enter your formulas, or you can now perform any kind of task that you want to. It's just like in this hand, your hand or your fingers will be doing the movement, because there's no mouse to work with and you have a smaller screen to deal with. Thank you for the class. Can I speak instead of typing? Okay. All right, you can speak. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening. Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you. My name is Friday Obaji. Thank you so much for the class.
Thank you.
Just a small question, sir. After entering your data, just as you've shown us, and you want to do a summary of your data, is there a special function to be coded, or once you do that, the summary will come up on its own?
Okay. If I get you correctly, you mean if there's a special function that is coded so that once we want a summary, like it will find count A, count blank, average, sum, max.
Yeah.
All right. So now, one thing I want to bring to our notice is that you define exactly what you want to achieve in Excel. Is that all right? It's because we want to summarize this data this way. That's why we actually we had to find, actually tell Excel we want to do the summary like this. There are some other people that can summarize the data with graph. Is that all right? It's okay. So depending on what you want to achieve, but there's no there's no way you can code it or program it that Excel actually want, okay, summary is count A, count blank. So there are a whole lot of ways to summarize. This is just like an aspect that I've shown us. And this is just like the basic summary that we are looking at. Tomorrow I'm going to look at advanced data summary.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, someone else.
Good evening. Please, you didn't answer the person that spoke about average. I'm interested concerning the average.
Don't worry, we are coming to average. I just need to attend to these other persons. Your own is a special one. We are coming to average. Okay. I couldn't follow the class because my screen was blank. I guess the issue was with my phone. Okay, I mentioned that you can log out and log in back, please, if you're having issue with not seeing the screen, because I confirmed from everyone if they can see, and most of us answered in the affirmative. All right, so let's go to average now. It's very easy. just like we said, if you want to, okay, you can now mute your mic back. If you can now mute, just like we said, if you want to implement any calculation in Excel, you must proceed with what? An equal sign, right? Now, the function that we are actually looking at, the built-in calculation that we are actually looking at that want to perform the particular task is what? Average. All right. So average, you type it just as you want to use. So average. So you type in average, and as you are typing it, Excel will bring out a lot of suggestions. So you just select the one that you want to choose, which is what? Average. Okay. Now, once you've selected it, you notice that it will type in the average and it will open up a bracket for you. So this opening up a bracket is done automatically by Excel. But if you are typing the average and you want to put the bracket yourself, you are good to go. But I myself, I want to make my work very, very fast. So sometimes I just come and equals to, I'm looking for average, I just average. And I look at what Excel gives me, I just double click and select it for me and put my, what is it called, opening bracket for me. So I now select the range of cell. This place that I see number 1, number 2, on and on and on. What it actually means is that the range of cells that I want to do what? Find the average. Some other people will also, let me tell you a longer way of doing this average. So another way of doing this average is to select cell 1, that is C2, hit comma, select this next cell, hit comma, select this next cell, hit comma, select this next cell, hit comma. Okay, select this next cell. But is this not tedious, for Christ's sake? Why do you want to suffer yourself when you can? Why? Okay, so this is a very lengthy one, but it will still give us the same answer. All right, so you now select all these cells, then close up your bracket and hit enter. Right, and it will still give you the same answer. But why? When you can do it easily. So the easier way of doing this is to do what? Equal to average. Okay, select average, then select your range of cells, then hit enter, and it will give you your answer the way you want it. All right, so if you notice you have 57.92, let me open this one and you can see everything is the same as it is. Please, have I answered your question? Have I answered your question? Have I answered your question? Is it clear now? Okay, so if you notice, having this long formula, you want to show everybody that you know how to do Excel, and you want to have one long formula, and this person that maybe just does this, it's still the same answer. It's just that you have wasted all your energy and time, trying to follow this long path, right? So I tried to show you the easiest way to achieve your results, and you are good to go. No time. All right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. If that will be all for the questions, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. For those that joined late, don't worry, you have access to the recorded class. Okay. Please, could you do a quick recap? What is the name? Zoom actually warned us that we'll have less than 10 minutes. In fact, it's 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Okay, I can actually do a recap. Okay. So if you want me to do a recap, type recap. One more question. Okay, one more question. You can ask your question. Unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, now question is, supposing you are working with 2 Excel sheets.
It's very possible. It's very possible. That's a smart question, and I'm sure this person that is asking this question is not a beginner, but it's very possible. Now, supposing I want to find average, yeah. Supposing I type average, yeah, average, okay, and the way I want to get the average is from this particular worksheet. Remember, this particular worksheet is, the name of this worksheet is what? Summary basics, and where I want to find average is under sheet 1. All right. So what I just need to do is start my what? Function equal to average. Okay, select this. Now, when Excel now require me to enter my numbers, what I just need to do is to gingerly carry my mouse, come to this worksheet where I want to pick my average from. Okay, now you notice something is happening at the formula bar. It's now making reference to that particular worksheet. Now, what Excel types here is none of your business. Just kukuma carry your mouse and come and select the range of cells that you want to find average. Once you are through, close up your bracket. That's why I say in Excel, you cannot cram the formulas. You want to cram 1,000 formulas or 1 million formulas. There are several ways of achieving the same result. So it's very, very smart of you to know the very fast way and the fastest way to achieve the result. That is why whatever we are learning here or whatever I'm teaching you is actually the very fast way. Although I don't know if you want to go manual, but like I show us the manual of actually finding average, I notice that it's very, very lengthy. So once you finish, close up your bracket and you hit enter, and to find still give you the same average, the same answer. So you are working with two worksheets and it is making reference to the other worksheet, but it will still give you what you want. All right. So I still have a recap to do. Okay. So please recap. Okay, I'll still do recap. But does that answer your question to that high chief that just asked the question? Mr. Friday, does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that smart questions. Please, when questions are asked, it's very, very important because it shows that people are actually following. For those that are actually asking for recap, we started by actually thanking this, our honorable comrade. Thank you, sir, for hosting this class. And we went ahead. Okay, my name, for those that are care to know, Onuzurike Chukwuagoze is my name. I'm a Microsoft Excel expert, okay, among other things. But as far as this class is concerned, so just take me as that. So what to expect is why Excel? Why actually do you have to actually get skills in Excel? You know, the world we are in now is actually transforming, is going global, and a whole lot of people can actually work from home. So Excel provides a lot of opportunity to actually scale up as a freelancer. You can sit at your house, you can have it as a side hustle, okay, by providing Excel skills to people, helping people to perform tasks using your Microsoft Excel skills. That is why we are actually trying to leverage on this to actually get part of the national cake that Microsoft Excel has to offer. So we went ahead to look at the jobs that we can actually do as Microsoft Excel experts. We saw administrative jobs, we saw project managers, data analysts, freelancers. All right. Now, the thing is that you notice that sometimes if you want to apply for a job, they'll tell you that the person must have skills in spreadsheet, or if they don't use spreadsheet, must know how to use Microsoft Excel. Okay, so it's like a kind of a restriction placed on some jobs. But if actually you have the skill, why not? You can even go ahead to add it to your CV. At the end of this particular training, you are going to be getting a certificate. What do you think you use it for? Right? So you use it to scale up eventually for those that want to apply for a certain job that needs Excel. So get paid in dollars with your Excel skills. So you can actually work as a freelancer. And I showed us some of the platforms that I can work in. And I told us Upwork and Fiverr and Truelancer and all that. So those are the platforms that I can work with. Now we went ahead to talk about the interface of Excel. What are rows? What are columns? And we said columns are the vertical guys, and it's represented with what? A column. A column is represented with what? Letters, and rows with what? Numbers. I went ahead to see what cell referencing is. Now, cell referencing is the intersection of the column letter and the row number. Is all right? So for cell A, the cell reference for cell A is F5. Why F5 is because it is at this cell A is where F intersects with what? Row 5. Is okay? So we went ahead to look at some arithmetic operations using Microsoft Excel, and now we came back to this particular place. We went ahead to look at data summary, using data summary and how we can actually achieve all this using count all, count blank, average, sum, max, mean. Okay. So the questions were asked and we were able to answer some of them. Does that answer all our questions?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Please, if any more questions, I have 1 minute.
Please, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. And sorry, I'm new to Excel and I've been trying to follow up what you are doing on my system and I can't find the tools under the spreadsheet on my Excel.
Okay. Wow. Okay, can we?
I don't know if mine is not new. I need to update it.
Okay, what you do after this class, just send message to the convener, all right? So that he'll just message me so that we'll know how to do it. Our time is up entirely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see again same time tomorrow. If you have any question, just hold on to it or just drop it with the convener. He'll forward it to me and we can attend to it. Thank you. God bless you. I love you all.
Thank you.